Okay.
How do I look? Don't lie. Well, actually, no, lie. Lie a lot. Alright, so welcome to Fixers. Today, this is going to be a quick video. This is how to install a fan. We've already gotten the fan down, and we're getting ready to put it back up. We decided to turn on the camera. We have our fan down there ready to go up. We're going to show you how to hook up the electrical connections. But on this one, it's a little weird. This is a fan with a remote, so it just has this box, which only requires these two connections, which is your common wire and your hot wire. There's not even a ground on this. And there is a ground on the fan, which I'll show you, but on this box there's not even a ground. So the box is easy, and the fan has a separate ground, which is also easy. And then the fan plugs in over here. I'll show you more about it once we get it up there. To start with, we turned off our power, okay, which is probably the most important step to this. Before the old fan even came down, the power was off.
And that's the power to the breaker box, not just turning your light switches off.
Correct. She has a good point. I should have been more specific. Someone's going to go up there and just turn the phone. It's fine. Anyway, to double check that the power was off, first of all, we had the fan on, the old fan. Turn the power off, the fan stopped moving. At that point, it's reasonable to assume that you're safe. And then once the breaker was off, the fan stopped moving, we also turned the switch off. And then to triple check, we used a voltmeter. This is literally $5 at a tool store. Just buy one, please, for real. So that was our triple check. So that's 3 ways that we know the power is off. There's absolutely no power here. We're safe. So we took the old fan down, and we've gotten this set of wiring here ready to hook up to our box, and then we'll hang our new fan. And once the new fan is hanging, we'll also hook up the ground wire, and we'll bolt it all up, and that should be the end of it. So where we're going to start is with our box here. This is, I assume this is the receiver box for the remote, because this is a remotely operated fan. It's going to sit between the brackets here, and on this setup it's easy. So typical house wiring in North America, at least, your white wire is going to be a common, and for your hot wire it's either going to be a red wire or a black wire. This system does have a black wire that we've tucked up, well, we've capped and tucked up out of the way, so it's safe, because on this particular fan we don't need it. And on this box there's the white wire and the red wire. That's why we chose this red one instead of the black one. You could also use the black one, it just needs to be a hot wire. But I wanted to keep them color coordinated. So what we're going to do, we're going to thread our antenna through here, and then our box, and this box just sits up there basically like that. We'll get our wire nuts, and I'm simply going to twist. I'll start with the red wire. I'll twist the ends of the 2 red wires together, and then we'll screw our wire nut onto the end of it. And then I'll do the white wire, and then once they are connected, we'll hang our actual fan unit. If I can get my fingers to cooperate. This also is a little bit cramped because of this little box. It doesn't leave a whole heck of a lot of space up here. Here's something too I just thought of. When you twist these together, the amount of exposed wire that you have, the bare copper on the end of your white or red wires, make sure that it is short enough that when you put your wire nut on, the bare copper spot is covered by the wire nut. You don't want any bare copper showing. Thing. Alright. Okay, now we've got our wires twisted together and the wire nuts on them, and we've got them turned out of the way, and we're ready to hang our fan unit. This particular bracket is pretty easy. It's it's a ball and socket sort of bracket. This is the socket. The ball's on the end of the fan unit, which I'll show you. And it just slips into here and hangs. It's pretty simple, that's it. Once it's hanging, we'll get our ground wire twisted on and we'll plug it in and we can put our covers on and then we'll be done. So we're back up on the ladder. Here's our fan. I was talking about how that's the socket end of this. Here's the ball end. And the way that it works is it just cups it and supports it like that. Now our one big challenge is this obnoxiously long cord. But beyond that, it's pretty easy. If you see up here, I slid our remote unit back out so we have the space to hook this in here because it's got to go above it and then down into it. So once we have the ball into the socket on the mount, before we take our hand off it, we're just going to make sure that it's okay and it's good and sturdy. And then from this side, we're going to slide our remote unit back through, starting with our antenna wire, thread that in, and sliding that back through so it's nice and safe up there. Our hot and our neutral wire, the red and the white, we're going to give those a little tug, not much, just a little bit on our wire nuts to make sure we're not going to fall out, and then tuck those up out of the way. And then the last wire that we have to wire and nut together is this green one. Coming out of your ceiling is going to be a bare copper wire, and then there's this green wire, and a third green wire, or well, excuse me, a second green wire that's attached to the mount itself. Those are all your grounds, and you'll twist those together and wire nut them.
So all three of them?
All three of them, the bare copper wire and the two green wires. Those are your grounds. We're going to get those all put together. And then, those the last of the wires that we have to wire nut together ourselves. We'll get those tucked out of the way also. Try and get it. Now our obnoxious cord plugs in to our remote unit.
Which is over here.
Yeah, it just plugs in. And now we can stuff this all inside the cover and slide the cover up on it. And the fan is mounted. After it's mounted, we'll test it to make sure it works. But to be honest, off camera, we've already tested that red and white wire to make sure power went to them the way we wanted. And you just match the colors up and you're good. So I'm sure that it will work. But of course, we'll take you along and show you that it does. And once we get the cover up here, we're just going to put the screws in the sides of it. We'll just take it out. No, put it back in. Well, no, actually, because I can just unscrew it that one.
There we go. Now we got our screws in. Well, no, it's missing a screw, but we're getting there.
All right.
What?
My arm's...
Oh, I thought it was something with the fan. Look at it. It's so beautiful.
Well, it's up there.
It's up there. Hey, it's beautiful.
Alright guys, so we're putting blades on and I like how this blade goes on. This little wing nut thing, once you get the blade sitting there, it does like a quarter turn and locks it in. You don't got to play with screws, which I think is super awesome. And I'm also trying to do this one-handed, so I'm sorry if it's shaky.
We don't have two ladders or else I'd be up there.
She says that. Oh, I might need the other hand. So once it's on there, you just turn that a quarter turn to lock it, and you're done. The blade's mounted. I really like that a lot. After it's mounted, it looks like that. Quarter turn. It's awesome. Alright, I'm going to put on the rest of the blades.
Now we are screwing in the bulbs.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
It's a very highly specialized bulb screwing technique.
Mm-hmm.
I learned it from a monk in the Himalayan mountains.
Isn't it so pretty?
Now that we have that done, which way do you want your fan to spin? When we tested it, it spun this way. Spinning that way is going to pull air up.
Well, we want air to go down.
Okay, so we're going to flip the switch. Oh, wait, wrong way. That way. Alright. So, we should be good to go.
Alright, so now we have this handy dandy remote. And we are
remote.
going to test it.
I keep thinking remote.
Oh, look at that!
It does stuff.
It's beautiful. And there we turn it off because that's so bright.
It really is bright. It's a surprisingly bright little light.
Turn the fan off. And that's Fixers.